Good morning, everybody. Update 51 is out. We have a whole new Epic Destiny system, and I've been having an absolute blast. I have leveled 2 characters in 2 days from 20 to 30. I have tons of builds swimming in my head, and I can't wait to share some of them with you. And I haven't been able to pull myself away from the game. However, there has been worry and speculation about how characters are going to perform with this new patch and update. Now, as I've detailed before, the low epic experience is extremely good in terms of the general leveling. Epics currently feel like heroics in that your character is pretty much able to stand up against any of the elite style monsters, assuming you have an appropriate gear level for what you're actually trying to take down. In general, all the characters that I played were able to go from 20 to 30 on Epic Elite or Reaper fairly easily, assuming I had level 15 Sharn gear and I actually knew what I was doing with my character and putting my points into some of the right places. Overall, I think that generally the balancing that has been done from level 20 to 30 has been a pretty successful measure, and a lot of people have been enjoying the revamped epics. And the biggest thing I've heard from people is that it's actually just a lot of fun now to play in epics, to try doing different quests than you normally would, go off the beaten path, and get to experience the new leveling structure. However, there is something that I know a lot of people are also very curious about, and that is also the endgame. How does it feel at level 30? How does it feel in raids? How does it feel in R10s? Now, I haven't had the chance to try out every single character. The character I've been playing the most has been my Warlock, because I love playing my Warlock. I always enjoyed playing it before, but now having the opportunity to try it out in this new system, it has been an absolute blast. I spent an entire day running R10s on my Warlock, and I gotta say, I had a fantastic time. If you yourself are out there unsure about some of these changes, I recommend trying things, as I spent a lot of time re-specializing, changing up trees, moving things around, trying to figure out what the best combination would be to help out the party. And man, Warlock just hits the nail on the head by being able to use some of these different epic destinies. Draconic Incarnation is really strong because it gives you access to the extended Wellspring of Power, turning monsters to gold, as well as the double damage on your breath. Exalted Angel is so strong because you get the supplementary healing, a lot of defensive abilities, and Holy Fireball. And as a Warlock, I really have nothing bad to say about Strahd Champion, which adds so much additional damage onto every single Eldritch Blast. In general, the R10s went a lot faster than I was used to doing, and also, it was very different because my character's damage was through the roof. I was able to just tear through monster packs like it was nothing, and it felt really, really good. I can't speak to every single class or everyone's experience, but so far, I've found that my character has become significantly stronger in R10 content, and I get the feeling I'm going to be dragging my character through R10s a lot more than I normally would, just because of how much fun I had not only doing crowd control, but also healing and actually damaging monsters at the same time. This also extends out to raids, where you want to have a good amount of additional damage, and some monsters have higher hit points. In raids, my character was performing significantly better. So, if you were worried, and maybe you started up playing on the Warlock build that I posted for this character, and you're terrified about how your character is going to perform in the endgame, I wouldn't be worried about this specific character build, because honestly it works super well. And if you haven't seen this before, I'll leave a link below so you're able to quickly follow up. I haven't made any adjustments to the actual character leveling path or anything else, or even the itemization, and it is performing extremely well. That being said, I have some more testing to do. I gotta test out some melee characters, some tanks, to see how things are going. But in general, even some of the other classes have gained a lot of utility. Specifically when it comes to tanks, now if you're playing any type of tank character, you've gained access to 2 incredible tools to really help you out. Number 1, the new Celestial Mandate, combined with some of the other stuff in the Unyielding Sentinel tree, makes your character significantly tankier than you would be before, getting more physical and magical resistance rating, as well as a little bit more health. However, going just beyond that, you also now have access to Knight's Challenge, which is this shield throw where you Captain America your shield at somebody and it stuns them and their entire group of friends. This stun is insanely impactful, as it allows you as the tank to have a huge amount of control over the battlefield. It also allows you to stun monsters that you wouldn't normally be able to stun, such as undead and constructs, and taunt monsters you wouldn't normally be able to taunt, such as undead and constructs, meaning that pretty much every single tank in the game is able to hold aggro, assuming they're appropriately using some of their tools. This allows you as tank to have a significantly higher amount of control over the battlefield, and it allows you to feel a lot more like you would in a tank from another video game. One of the things that tanks have always missed in DDO is the ability to grab aggro on every monster, and the ability to grab aggro at range, as Intimidate is only a melee range ability. However, thanks to tonight's challenge, you're able to grab aggro over any range. Well, any short range anyway. The shield isn't the longest range tool, but it still is range. And it means as if you're moving into some type of combat scenario or an archer behind you starts shooting at the monster pack in front of you, you can still grab it without the pack becoming too split up. Overall, with these changes, I think that there is a lot of opportunity to continue to test and experiment different builds to find the things that work absolutely the best. So far, for R10s that I've been doing, I know I've prioritized a lot of defensive abilities and crowd control abilities because that's some of the most important things in R10s, assuming that your character is actually just genuinely able to get in and lock down monsters. The rest of the pack will follow, with the only things being dangerous are Vengeance Reapers, Doom Reapers, and final bosses. Crowd control is king the higher Reaper mode you go, and making sure you have it is important, whether grabbing something like Dire Charge or the Great Leveler, knocking stuff down with adrenaline, or whatever it is you plan on doing to lock up monsters. As long as you're doing something, you're going to be having a good time. So now with all this being said, I'm going to leave you with a couple clips of actually running some R10s. You kind of get a feel for how strong this character feels in R10s right now. Again, this is a commentary on the way my character is going, not other people's characters or what have you. Being able to talk and play the video game and also interact. Being able to read something, the multitasking, and also paying attention to what you're actually trying to do. Trying to get over all of the emotions of like stress and nervousness and worry about like, oh, I'm on camera and things are happening and what's all that. So it's another aspect of it. Being able to also, when no one is chatting with you, still be entertaining. Also determining what your type of content even is or is about. Like, you know, what makes your content your content. Be like, am I funny? Do I tell jokes? I think I'm funny. Some people might think I'm kind of funny or no or whatever. And so, you know, just try to figure out kind of what kind of content you even like doing as well, trying to like find your own place. Like for me, I definitely can tell that informative content is something that I generally like. I am more comfortable playing video games I'm knowledgeable about than playing video games I am not knowledgeable about, because when people ask me questions, I can answer them. If I play a game I don't really know too much about, what will often happen is I go, I don't know, when somebody asks me a question, and I kind of just don't like giving that answer, and I would much rather be able to just give people concrete answers when I get asked them more often than not. So that's kind of, you know, part of the determining factor here in some cases, depending on what it is you're trying to do and look at. Oh, man. We do a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage. So yeah, is you're okay. Thank you. I don't know how to get my wisdom higher other than to lose winter and autumn spell bonuses. I mean, I usually don't run winter. Like I'm not running winter on this character, but this obviously has a lot of help. And also, I would not use Autumn, Winter, and the Heruit's Influence set, because if you have the Heruit's Influence and your DCs are low, I would probably focus on things that give more DCs than going for the Autumn, because the problem with Autumn is it has stacking crit, which is kind of nice. You don't really need the spell points, because you can just use shrines more often. So instead of being like, oh, I'll just use that, and then the extra spell crit, which stacks, is very good, but if your DCs aren't high enough, it doesn't matter. Your spells aren't going to land anyway. Like, I too like having higher crit chance. Just like how I like it when this druid isn't aggroed on me, but it's okay. He dies for his sins. With the destruction of the last foe, the lightning dancing between some of the nearby stones. For sure, for entertaining. I feel like I'm way better at DD after several months of watching your content. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope so. That's definitely part of my, like, shtick, is trying to be informative and entertaining. It's called edutainment, a word that describes most of the content that I personally like to enjoy, is edutainment. People who can describe a simple concept, but also make it entertaining, so that way the brain doesn't get bored. Like, I'm definitely, like, not somebody who's trying to get by on Twitch or even in content creation by being like, I'm the greatest, look how great I am. Because I'm not the greatest, look how often I've died today. You know what I mean? So yeah. Mr. Extra Life, I'm doing anything to help sick kids. You better. Alright. Uh-oh. 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 We're good. Yeah. When it comes to, okay, this has to stop. I don't know what to do about my camera going straight up. I'm just like, every time I'm sitting here, like, shooting at the monsters, I can't stand when it goes straight up. I hate that. That's the worst. Just all of a sudden you're like, I don't like it. I wish I could turn that off. Maybe I should stop playing with a mouse. It's the secret play to fix it in DDO. Just replace that. At some point later today, we'll probably do a little bit of classic salt mining. So checking out some of the stuff on the DDO forum, see how people feel about some certain things. At some point, because I'm very curious to see how things are going. I personally have noticed, at least on my content, a lot of like really positive feedback and also high view count. So I'm hoping that people are both excited and interested in it, or like higher than average, which is great for me. And so I don't know, we'll see. I'd want to find out. Speaking of kids, have to run to get them from school. Yeah, you go get those kids. Get them. Because I'm not gonna. Don't just leave them sitting there after soccer practice, just waiting. Character's butt. Yeah. I also do. I think my battery is low on my mouse, so I probably need to change it out. Oh god. No. Time for dinner and a nap. Soothe you to sleep. You got it, soldier. I will soothe you to sleep with my nice, calm voice or something. I don't know. I don't know how to do it like a lullaby. Lullaby soldier falling to sleep. Think about DDO characters all day and night and then don't sleep. 'Cause that's what I normally do. No, I'm not going to be mic clicking. Can't do that. Wireless, nice. Yeah, I have this mouse because I got an arthritis I deal with. And so it's a much nicer, easier mouse to deal with. Which is important. By Druid? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to live? Oh, that guy definitely wants to live. Ooh, no Shrotty procs. There we go. I was like... And no ASMR. I'm gonna stun this thing. Okay. Gonna staunch. Good. Whew! And I didn't even die! And I got 1,000,000 kills! Oh, there you go. That could be a problem. A deaf dog. That sounds like it might be something to deal with. Ugh. Into the pool, kids. There's teenage. She's also deaf. Ha! Very funny. That guy died already. That was the speed of, like, heroic elite. I'm not even joking. I can't believe how fast Strahd just died. Correct right away. They keep doing it, or not understanding what they did wrong. Yeah, well, it's all about the training, right? If a dog does something, you have to immediately, like, give it negative reinforcement and be like, no, do not do this behavior. Behavior bad. Or else they don't learn right away. Yeah, you sort of have to do that with cats, too.